Let's get started. Welcome to the University of Tennessee Nuclear Engineering Department Colloquium Program. My name is Lee Dodds, and I am the speaker today, so there's no one to introduce, which is a good thing since I don't have to introduce the speaker. Before we get into the program today, I want to welcome everyone back from their summer activities, whatever they are. I know that many of you were here working hard, doing research during the summer, and for that we are sincerely appreciative. Even the guys and ladies that go off and do research in the name of the University of Tennessee, we thank you for those efforts too. And some of you were co-op students and you did internships. We welcome you back. We hope you had a safe and happy summer and you're looking forward to the school year, which most of us are certainly doing. Today's topic is our colloquium program for the year, and there are two parts of it. There's a part that's already scheduled, that I do all the scheduling, and there, as you will see, there'll be several open dates this semester. And so the second part will be getting your ideas and suggestions for speakers to fill those open dates for this semester and next semester. So I think it's a good idea to first of all go over the reasons why we have this colloquium program, and I have them listed on this first slide. Most of our speakers, in fact just about all of them, occasionally we'll have a graduate student present his research, one of our own graduate students, but just about all of our speakers are from outside our department. And the idea there is to learn from people new ideas and concepts from outside of our department. We want to be exposed to new ideas and concepts, to stay abreast and informed about current events and new opportunities. And occasionally, we will have a presentation that doesn't have anything to do with nuclear. We do want to definitely provide the opportunity to be creative and think outside of the nuclear box. And really, occasionally, we will have presentations that don't have anything to do with nuclear, but they are interesting. They might be cultural. For example, many of our professors travel all over the world, and they have good cameras, and so we'll see a slideshow of some of their travels. Another reason for this colloquium program is to promote good relations with external organizations. And of course, finally, to increase our visibility and recognition. After each colloquium presentation, we go downstairs and we have a party, okay, with refreshments. And I like to think that we're the partyingest department on campus, but in a good way, because it's an opportunity for our faculty and our students and our guests to get together and to get to know each other better. I actually have only 8 slides today, so hopefully my presentation will be short and we can get to your ideas, and then we can adjourn downstairs and have a party. Okay. I think I mentioned all these things back here on this slide here. Let's go to the program for the year that I have lined up. First of all is today's presentation. I'm listed. It's August the 24th. And then next week, this is an interesting presentation. It's outside of the Nuclear Engineering Department, but it's inside the university. It's the head of the UT Physics Department, Dr. Soren Sorensen. And one of his hobbies, he's sort of an applied mathematician, as many physicists and engineers are. He has looked in detail at the mathematics behind the BCS bowl rankings. And so we're going to see that mathematical presentation. He's going to explain it to us. And I know some of you may not be interested in football. That's fine. You can appreciate the mathematics that goes into those football rankings. And then on September the 7th, we have John Cleveland from the International Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna, Austria. The topic of his presentation is Overview of Global Development of Advanced Nuclear Power Plants. John is a longtime friend of mine. He used to be at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory. He left there and went to Vienna, the International Atomic Energy Agency, over 20 years ago, but we've remained in touch. He does listen to our webcasts of our colloquium, and he occasionally will send me an email comment. He's an outstanding speaker, and I'm looking forward to having him here, back to the university. Then on September the 14th and September the 21st, we have open dates. Okay, that's why I want your ideas. The reason we have open dates on those particular dates, it's a selfish motive on my part. I enjoy the colloquium program. I enjoy hearing these people speak on these different topics. And so if I know that I'm going to be traveling, and I am going to be traveling on September the 14th, I haven't scheduled one there. Okay, but that doesn't mean that we can't have one. I don't have to be here. All I do is introduce the speaker and moderate the question and answer period anyway. If we want to have a speaker and we can get a speaker for those dates, I encourage you, let's do that. It's almost the same on September the 21st. I'll be in Knoxville, but I'll be attending an international topical meeting. And I'm giving a paper there. And so I'm also one of the sponsors, and so I need to be there. And so I probably will not be here, but still, we can have a colloquium presentation on that afternoon too if we come up with a speaker and a good topic. Then on September the 28th, we have Dr. Jim Lake, who's the Associate Director of the Idaho National Laboratory. That's a new national lab. They combine parts of Argonne National Lab and the Idaho lab that was there before and put them together, and it's a new name, and they have a new charge, and they're the lead nuclear laboratory in the U.S. for the Department of Energy, okay? And he's going to be here to talk about the nuclear R&D activities at their lab. Then on October the 5th, we have the head of the Nuclear Engineering Department at Purdue University, Dr. Lefteris Zougalis. The topic of his presentation, and don't ask me what this means, it's Hubert's Peak, Implications of Global Nuclear Power Engineering. Lefteris Zougalis came to the United States as a postdoc in our department here many years ago. He's a very talented individual, and after the end of his postdoctoral appointment, he applied for and got an assistant professorship at Purdue University in the nuclear engineering program. And he's gone from assistant professor to associate to full professor, and now he's the head of their department. He's a good friend of mine and also many individuals in this department. October the 12th, we have Dr. David Holcomb, who's an Ohio State Buckeye, I believe. Is that right, Wes? He's from the Nuclear Science and Technology Division of the Oak Ridge National Laboratory. He's going to come and talk about modern research directions in nuclear instrumentation and controls. Everything's going digital. And so most of our power plants in the U.S. are still analog. And so they need to be updated, and the new plants will definitely be digital. And he'll be talking about that. And then on October the 19th, we have another open date. And I'm looking for speakers there. On October the 26th, we have Dr. Tony Buell, who's the president and CEO of Energex. He spoke last year on safety philosophy at nuclear facilities. And I had a lot of positive feedback from our cyber audience about Tony's presentation. In fact, several people asked for a copy of his slides. But what his company has done, not only through Energex, but also he was also the president of Tenera for a period of time, and they've been involved heavily, he in particular, in the cleanup of the Rocky Flats plant. That's the DOE facility that formerly did plutonium processing. Okay, the plant is actually going to close. It'll become a brown field and then a green field eventually. And so since he's been there for the most part from start to finish, he's going to come and talk about the cleanup of the Rocky Flats plant from start to finish. Then on November the 2nd, we have one of our research professors, Dr. Martin Grossbeck, who he joined us after he retired from the Oak Ridge National Laboratory. He's a materials expert, a nuclear materials expert. And this summer, he, along with about a dozen other professors, toured the nuclear facilities in France. Okay, the nuclear industry in France puts on this tour for professors, in the United States every couple of years. I have been twice, okay? And so I couldn't go a third time. I think 2 is enough. But Martin went this time. He's a much better photographer than I am. He was there when Lance Armstrong won his last Tour de France. The last time I was there on the same Sunday and on the Champs-Élysées when Lance Armstrong won number 3 and number 4. And so the title of his presentation, he also toured the Madame Curie Museum in Paris. And so the title of his presentation is Madame Curie to Lance Armstrong, a cultural tour of France and French nuclear facilities. So this will be both a cultural presentation and a technical presentation. November the 9th, again, is an open date. Now we're getting close to the end of the semester. November the 16th, you can have a colloquium then if you want it, but most of our faculty will not be present for the colloquium because that's the week of the National ANS meeting, which this year is in Washington, D.C. in November. And so I haven't scheduled one. In fact, I put no colloquium, but if somebody comes in my office and says, I want to have one on November the 16th, we'll certainly schedule it. The faculty does not have to be here, okay? November the 23rd, also another no colloquium. That happens to be the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And we know from past experience that that's not a good Wednesday from the standpoint of attendance to have a colloquium presentation. And so I haven't scheduled one then, and we probably will not schedule one. Then on November the 30th, that's an open date. That's the final colloquium of the semester because the following Wednesday is study day. Classes end on the following Tuesday. And so that'll take us through the first of the semester. That's all I have scheduled so far. So we do have 3 or 4 open dates. But I have some possibilities that people that I've already talked to, and they like Skyla Harris. Skyla is, as you probably know, the board of directors from TVA. They've had a 3-member board since TVA was first created in the 30s, okay? And they're going to a 9-member board. One of the 3 current members, his appointment, they get these, I think they're either 6 or 8-year appointments. His ended, and so right now there are 2 members of the TVA Board of Directors. One of them is Skyla Harris, okay? I met her at a conference in Atlanta, and we got to talking, and I asked her if she would like to do this, and she's verbally committed, said she would, and but we haven't selected a date yet. She hasn't gotten back to me. Then this next one is Dr. Larry Townsend, who's one of our tenured professors. He's been to Alaska twice in the past few months, and I think he's going a 3rd time in January. And so he'll have 3 trips to Alaska to select some beautiful slides, and so we'll get him to give a presentation sometime next semester after he comes back from his 3rd trip to Alaska. And then Lisa Shell. That's a very impressive young lady that I met at a conference somewhere. I can't remember, Washington, D.C., I think. She just finished, about a year or so ago, finished her master's at MIT in nuclear engineering. She is the new president, and currently she just started her term of this organization, NAYGN, which stands for North American Young Generation for Nuclear, okay? She is a pro-nuclear activist, and very much so, and she's very good at it. And so I asked her, and she said she will do it, but right now she hasn't been able to confirm a date. And so I'd like to get her this semester if possible. I think you'll enjoy her presentation. And then in order to have some balance, if we're going to have a proactive, pro-nuclear person, we probably should invite an anti-nuclear person, right? Since we're a university community and we like to do things in balance. And I had this person up there last year when I gave my opening address regarding the colloquium program. Our local anti-nuclear leader is Stephen Smith. and his wife is named Libby Smith. I know Libby, Dr. Townsend and I think Dr. Miller and I think Dr. Townsend, all three of us have met and talked with Libby, and she is a very nice person. And actually, I'd like to have her come and present the anti-nuclear perspective. Notice I said her and not him, okay? Although if they insist, if he's the one they want to come, then we'll let that happen, okay? Now, these are the people that I have lined up so far, and I've gotten verbal commitments from these others. I haven't gotten them from Libby yet, but we'll try to do that. So what I want to do now is get your ideas for potential speakers. I brought my little calendar or planner here, and so usually we get some good ideas from the audience at this time. Thank you. I remember one from Dr. Peavy a few years ago. He suggested inviting a weather expert to come, and we actually tried that one time, and we couldn't get it confirmed. And so I know that if he were here, I don't know where he is. I'll speak to him after this is over with. He would probably recommend that. And so what ideas and suggestions do you have? And I'll write them down, and I'll try to make it happen. What about more? Yeah, Art?
The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, we had a guy, Brandon Kirby, he read us about 5 years ago or so. A lot's changed with deregulation. It'd be good to get an update on what we got with that.
Okay.
Because it impacts a lot of this new plant stuff.
Federal Energy Regulation. Yeah.
Yeah, the FERC.
FERC, F-E-R-C. Yeah, why don't you make that suggestion again so the cyber audience can hear
For the
you?
cyber audience?
Yeah.
I suggest we bring Brandon Kirby, who was on the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission.
Okay.
He's in Oak Ridge, and there are others, but he's the one that's easiest to get.
Okay. Do we have Martin?
Well, I don't have a person to suggest, but I was going to mention perhaps we could have a radiation hormesis speaker.
Okay. Dr. Miller and Dr. Townsend know some people that are experts in that. And that's a good topic. And you don't have to suggest a name right now. If there's just a topic that you're interested in, and then we can try to find a speaker that is expert on that topic. So if you have a topic, any other suggestions? Well, Dr. Upadhyaya.
Yeah. How about inviting a principal of a high school, a local high school, and let him or her talk about the expectations that the students may have from universities.
Okay.
You know, would be
Expectations.
interesting. We don't have to give the title to him, but or her. It would be
Okay.
interesting to hear from.
I actually know several high school principals. I play golf with them, so maybe I can get one of them. Okay.
You said one of the open days is for the criticality conference, is that right?
Right.
Perhaps we could get one of the keynotes or something. We could convince one of the keynotes to come over
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah, we could do that. That's a good idea. I looked at the program last night online and was looking at the keynote speakers, and I know most of them, so maybe we can do that.
We don't pay for travel, right, for potential speakers are doing.
If they won a Nobel Prize, I'll probably pay for it. But other than that, no.
Well, what about a guy who was very close to it?
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, he worked in a lot of nuclear areas in his younger years, and he's a fascinating guy. We probably couldn't bring all the people. Invite Freeman Dyson. He has done a lot of nuclear work.
Oh yeah, that's right. Freeman
He
does.
came to very close. So, but I don't know if he's going to pay for his trip.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. I like that. We can do other suggestions like that. Mario?
Have you had one on PET scanning?
Not in the
Recently?
last what, 3 years, we had the president, founder, and CEO of CTI,
Yeah.
Terry Douglas. He gave a presentation 2 or 3 years ago, and of course, we archive all these presentations. And his presentation is on the archive, but a lot has happened in the last 2 or 3 years.
I
So
think a
we,
real interesting thing would be what the scans show in relationship to what the people are doing and that sort of thing.
mm-hmm,
Not so much how the scanner works as much as how you use it.
PET scan,
We
yeah,
had Dr. Blaufox from New York come down just last year,
yeah,
talk mostly on PET scanning.
yeah. Yeah, we had somebody last year, Bob Fox. He's the head of nuclear medicine at Albert Einstein College of Medicine, right? And an outstanding speaker. What about, okay, John, you got an idea? Somebody's raised your hand for you. Yeah, use the microphone.
It's not nuclear by any means, but I was thinking that it could do a videography and video production type thing. It's totally off the wall, but it's kind of neat to see how it goes through it.
So remember we had a guy talk about high definition TV last year. This is
I was gonna tie
give him the mic.
I mean, I could tie it into a lot more of just the culture of skateboarding too,
Okay, skateboarding,
which is a bit off the wall, but you know, it's very diverse, and I don't know. I'm sure I could, you know, shed some light on some stereotypes that some people have, and put
Those
those
guys-
to rest, maybe.
Those guys that do that professionally are genuine, real athletes. I
Yeah.
mean, they are really good.
What's something that you guys might be surprised about is a lot of them are actually engineers.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I know several professional skateboarders that have gotten their master's degrees and stuff like that, and they've
Yeah.
turned it down for the meantime, you know, pursued that instead. So it's pretty bizarre. But anyways, it's a thought.
Good suggestion. We like to do things like that at least once a semester. Sometimes we do them twice a semester. That's just a diversion. And on the other end of the spectrum, what about more technical presentations? Have somebody come. Now we get a lot of technical stuff, but it's the overview type stuff. Would you want somebody to come and talk about the latest numerical methods in relap 5, for example? Or relap 7, which is it? We have both, right? 5 3D. Or the latest techniques that are used in Monte Carlo for biasing, for example. Is that type of thing you'd like to have? How does that sound? Now, some people, that'll put them to sleep. That's the reason we try to keep these presentations more of an overview nature, because if you get real specialized in a certain area, like if it were Monte Carlo, as far as our faculty is concerned, it would be primarily Dr. Peavy and Dr. Townsend and the other faculty members that use Monte Carlo, and the other people just wouldn't be interested. So would you like to have more technical presentations? We could get soon-to-be Dr. Neil Zapp come and talk about his PhD dissertation. We'll give you a little PR, Neil. What is the title of your dissertation? Wait a minute, give him a microphone. Give him a microphone.
Well, you mentioned Monte Carlo codes, and I'm working on developing a heavy ion fragmentation event generator for the Fluka code. It's
Fluka,
built and maintained out of CERN.
which in
so,
the application is what?
It has the code itself is a very broad range of applications. Primarily, they use it. Obviously, there are several different accelerator lines there. And they use it primarily for experimental simulation. The Alice experiment, for example, will be completely simulated. NA49, all of these big experiments that are hundreds of metric tons of equipment on the floor at a time are all pre-simulated, and there's a nice symbiosis between the simulation and the experiment, and back and forth when they're spending that much money to get something online. So I'm writing a little tiny piece of code in development of that.
Okay. See, that would be a very specialized technical presentation that would appeal to a subset of the audience. For sure, Dr. Townsend. Dr. Miller.
Reading Scientific American about string theory and the Big Bang. And
Wait a minute. Where's the microphone?
There have been a couple articles in Scientific American on kind of the fringe of physics and the validity of string theory, or is the Big Bang theory in trouble, or the Standard Model in trouble. If we had a physicist that Townsend may know or something to come in, I think that would be interesting.
Okay. Okay, we have several good suggestions here. Any other? Yeah, Martin?
This would be more useful
Give him the mic.
in a case where a colloquium speaker can't make it at the last minute. But I've ordered a copy of the film on the EBR1 story.
Yeah. Okay. I think I have that too. We got 2 copies, maybe. That's okay. That's all right. EBR1. Anything else? Okay, I had planned to try to keep my part of the colloquium today to less than 30 minutes. Normally we go 45, 50 minutes, but it's a welcome back reception, right? There's a party to be had. And so if there are no further suggestions, I suggest that we adjourn downstairs and have a party. Thank you. String theory, huh?
Somebody can talk about blend down
From Irwin, NFS, blending down.
Jose and
Yeah, all right. Wait, let's get one. Yeah, let's get them. We'll do that. Huh?
What's going on with the medical physics class? That's still going on?
Yeah, yeah,
Just want to make sure.
yeah. Are we done, guys?